Happy Nanowrimo! It is 12:19 a.m. on November 1st. I'm so excited. It is right after the first sprint with my Nanowrimo local group on Discord. And I am prepping everything to wake up really early in the morning and try to get an hour and a half of writing time in before I have to like be an adult human. So my daily goal for words right now is 2,500. My goal for Nanowrimo as a whole is 70K. Like obviously if I win at 50K, like I win, like, and then, but like my personal goal is to hit 70K for the month. Because that would be pretty close to a finished draft for the story, I think. If I wrote 2,000 words in each chapter, that would get me to 70K. And my goal for the first week is to kind of try to ride the high, get a little bit ahead, because we have a couple things going on. We have a D&D get together one weekend this month, and we have trying to think through all the other things. I mean, there's 2 holidays, right? There's Thanksgiving this month, and that'll stretch over 2 days, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to try to get as many words up front as I can. So in our writing sprint with my local area today, I got 619 words, which is very specific, but that's what I got in my first sprint of Nanowrimo. I'm super excited. So I am getting my trusty mug out and ready. I did save and sync my words so that I can write on my other laptop upstairs in the morning really early. It's the quietest keyboard in the quietest area of the house, so that I don't wake up any of the sleeping people when I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to write. So that is where I'm at. That is my plan. That's what's going on. I'm still super excited, but I am so tired. So I'm gonna like shower and get ready for bed, and I will check in the morning after my writing time's over. Good morning. It is still November 1st, but it is now almost 7 a.m. I've been up for almost an hour. I'm working on trying to get my daily word count in before 7:45-ish, when I need to take Cora to daycare. So I'm working on getting my word count in for the day. I've got a nice hot cup of coffee that I brewed up in a Nanowrimo mug. It's very full. I've been waiting for it to cool for a minute. So I've got a nice hot cup of coffee. I've got a protein shake, because I'm trying not to eat like food until later in the morning. I might not even drink the protein shake if I'm totally honest. And I have written thus far this morning about 700 words. I'm getting close to 700 words, or maybe a little over 700 words, I guess. I'm working through the first chapter. I think once I kind of finish up the thought that I'm in this chapter, I'm going to switch to a different chapter. The first chapter has all of this expectation in it about how it is, it has to hook you in, it has to make the character, it has to introduce the characters and the problem of the story and the setting of the story, and give you an idea of what their life is like and what the problem is and what the challenges are and like what they're going to face. And that's a little hefty to take on at 7 o'clock in the morning the first day writing a story. That's my sprint timer. I'm gonna pause that really quick. So I did get started there because that felt like the sensible place to start. But I actually think I might write some of the past chapters to start, because I feel like those are the best understood part of the story for me, are the things that have happened in the past. I even have some drafted, but I'm actually not even going to try to not reference those at all. I have them in my head, but I don't like writing, from scratch like that. But I'm also trying to remind myself that this is a first draft, and it does not have to be perfect. It really doesn't have to be perfect. It can really be bad if that's what it takes. So anyway, just wanted to check in. I'm sure I'll be back later, and I will definitely give you a formal update on my word count when I'm done writing. Good evening, everyone. It is 8:08 p.m. on the first day of Nanowrimo, so the first day of November. I wrote from 6:15 this morning until about 7:45, and I hit my word goal in that time. So I got to about 3,086 words for the total. And now I'm joining in on some area sprints, some local group sprints in the evening. So I'm going to sprint from 8 to 9 about. I would love to get to 5,000 words today. If that's possible, we will see. If that's not possible, then that's totally fine. I'm already at my word goal. I just want to try to build up an ahead so that if there's a couple days that I need to take off, like we're doing D&D this weekend, so that's going to take off some time from my schedule, which is totally fine. I want to continue living my life, even though I am working on this, but I did get my little corner of my desk a little bit decorated and pretty, and I have my Nanowrimo Planner up here. I used to use this all the time, and it's kind of just been sitting in a closet for like 2 years. So I wiped it off and refreshed it, and it has like my word count number goal for the day and then my total goal for the day. So I'm somewhere in between here right now. And I will be hopefully closer to that 5,000 goal this evening after I'm done writing at 9-ish when we put the kiddo to bed, and then I'm gonna read for the evening because I also love to do that. Hoping to finish up Horror Store by Grady Hendrix tonight. So we will see, and I will check in with you guys at the end with my final word count. Happy end of Nanowrimo day 1. I am very tired. The first day is always like this euphoric explosion of words. It's like this every year, but this year was like especially a lot. Look at these flyaways. Look at this. My hair was done at one point today. But yeah, every year the first day is a little bit more, but I hit today 7,247 words, which is bonkers. And I kind of promised myself that I wasn't going to do that this year because I worry that I'll burn myself out, but I really wanted to ride the wave of excitement today and try to get a little bit ahead. I've also realized through writing that I think I underestimated the word count on some of my chapters, and it might not be this way throughout the whole story, but I kind of guessed that each chapter would be roughly 2,000 words, and that gets me to roughly 70,000 for this draft. And most romances end up being in the 80 to 100 range, so I was fine with that. I figured I would find new things to write too, so I was planning on doing that. But yeah, I don't know if the trend keeps going. My first 2 chapters were a little over 3,000 words, or right around 3,000 words, which was a little bit more than I was expecting. So this might end up being closer to the 100K range than the 70K range. And I think that was a little bit of the drive to write extra today, because I felt like I had a lot of, I did a lot of discovery while I was writing. I still feel like I'm sticking to my outline a lot. I did change a little bit, but overall, feeling really good about where the story went, and I really didn't want to stop writing while I still had the energy and the drive to do it. But now, I got up at 6 this morning to write. It is now 11:15, which is way too many hours to be awake. I'm gonna go to bed, and I cracked a wine. I'm gonna just relax for the next 15 or 20 minutes, get some sleep, and wake up and do it all over again. And hopefully tomorrow night I won't be writing, I'll be reading, because I have some stuff I want to catch up on. I'd planned to do that tonight, but I was just really in the mood to get writing done, so I kept writing. So that's where I'm at. Still really loving this story, still having a great time. I will check back in when I start writing in the morning. Hello. So it is November 2nd. It is 9:46 p.m., 1:47 p.m. Today is the day that did not go as planned even one time at all. So I woke up feeling very ill for no reason that I can ascertain. other than maybe that I didn't get very good sleep for several nights in a row for Nanowrimo reasons. Like, let's be honest. So I did get about 1,000 words in my 6:30 to 7:30 writing window, but I wasn't super productive, and I stopped early because I didn't feel great. Proceeded to go to work, not feel great, get off work, not feel great, and lay around and do nothing all evening. And I just now got the kiddo off to bed, and if you can hear in the background, she's still not asleep, and it is almost 10 p.m. So I'm going to try to throw together my TBR video, and maybe listen to some YouTube videos for about a half an hour, and then I'm going to try to do a 1 hour sprint from 10:30 to 11:30, and I'll check back in with my word count. But other than that, my only goal today is to get to my 2,500 words, so I have about 1,500 left to go. It's totally attainable in an hour for me at my writing speed, but we will see. I'll be back. Also, obligatory Nanowrimo mug plug from 2019. I just hit 10,000 words. It is a little after midnight, but I just hit 10,000 words. I'm so excited. I was not expecting to be this far into this plot this early, but I've definitely been pushing the boundaries of the amount of sleep that I require to be a functional human being, and also neglecting more responsibility than I would like to be outside of writing. But I would say I'm riding the wave of the initial excitement of Nanowrimo starting. So I'm really excited that I've gotten this far. I think my story has already grown into something that I'm really proud of. I love the character development I've gone through. I'm really sticking to my plot outline. Maybe I actually did enough prep. Hello, so it is the end of Nanowrimo day 3. It's about 11:08 p.m. I got in some writing time today at lunch, and then continued writing after the kiddo went to bed. I've probably put in around 2.5 hours of writing, I would say, if I were guessing. I'm not really tracking like the hours that I write because that's just kind of a futile, unnecessary statistic, but my writing is still going like way above expectation for me. So my original Nanowrimo plan was to hit 70,000 words by the end of the month, with taking 2 days, kind of acknowledging that I'll likely take 2 days off throughout the month for various things, but mostly for the Thanksgiving day and the day after Thanksgiving when I will be traveling and then hosting. That put my daily word count goal at 2,500 words, which is a doable number for me. That's when it's not Nanowrimo and I'm writing, 2 or 3 or 4 days a week, I can put in 2,500 words in an hour and a half or 2 hours. So that feels totally achievable to me. Obviously not everyone writes at that level of speed, and that's because my writing is not great in the first draft, so I'll just put that out there now. A lot of it'll get cut in editing, so that's, how it is. I'm an overwriter, and that's just my nature. But at the end of day 3, my daily word count for today is 3,729, which is, again, a great showing for me. That's awesome in terms of the number of words. And my total manuscript word count right now is 13,601, which again is awesome. I've been using sprints to get, through times when I don't really want to focus. That's a super huge tip that I have for people who want to write but have trouble with, setting aside the time to get it done, or, learning how to put all your focus into something for a short period of time and make a lot of progress. That's how I kind of achieve everything in my life, is using sprints. I use the Pomodoro method for work and cleaning and everything. So I have these little dice. They're quiet. They're loud. So I have these dice. I keep them on my desk. I have one that is, the 1, 3, 5, and 10, and I have the 15, 20, 30, and 60 minute dice. And these guys are super helpful. I've only had them for a couple months, or maybe probably 2 months now, and I use them not every day, but any day that I have a lot to get accomplished in a short period of time, especially if it's on a lot of little tasks, like a 30-minute task, and then I have to like context shift to a new task for a new thing. These are amazing for that, because you can kind of say, okay, for this 30 minutes, I'm working on this thing, and I get a 10-minute break to do whatever I want that is not this work, and then I'll come back and do, whatever I need to do. So I use these. I've been using them for sprints as well. You'll see on my Scrivener document, I am 5 chapters in to the story. I've just finished chapter 5, which is really kind of the kick into the main plot. I wouldn't say it's quite the break into 2 yet. It's a little bit early for the break into 2, but it's definitely the first glimpse into the main conflicts of the story. It's actually really the first glimpse into the female main character's psyche, and that's one of the big plot directions of the story. But you'll see over here in the notes that I track what sprints I do and how long I complete them for, if I'm going to be writing for a long period of time. That way I don't have to do all the math at once and to figure out how many words I wrote in a sprint, because it's kind of fun to figure out if you have the time. So over my lunch today, I was listening to some work stuff and answering some work messages, but in between that I was also sprinting on my story. So I had a 30-minute sprint that I did while completing some things, and I did a 30-minute sprint, a 15-minute sprint, and then a 10-minute sprint to kind of round out an hour, and then I actually got a work call that I could not wait on 7 minutes and 15 seconds into that sprint, so that one ended, and I didn't track the ones I did this evening because they were kind of randomly happening while my video editor crashed repeatedly. So that's my status update. This one's a little bit longer than normal, but that's where I'm at. I'm hoping to, at this point, my goal, so this is my week tracker. It's like my goal, daily word count on the top, my actual daily word count, and then on the bottom is my manuscript word count goal, and then my actual across the board. So my goal for the end of the week was 17.5. I think at this point I'm kind of shifting that goal to probably closer to 20k. I think that would be admirable if I can get there. We'll see how that goes. I know on Saturday I have that I'm going to write from 2 to 5. That's not going to happen. That's D&D day, and I wasn't considering that when I wrote this out. So on Saturday I'll probably wake up early and do my writing, but again, I'll touch base then. I think my weekly goal is going to be 20k. I think I can get there, since I'm already at 13. So anyway, and that is the status update at the end of day 3. I hope everyone else is also having a great Nanowrimo. Remember, do not compare yourself to other people. I've seen a couple of tweets come through on, my timeline and on my Instagram where people are, going after other people for their word counts and all that kind of stuff. And that's unnecessary. Nanowrimo is a challenge for you against yourself and your time management skills and planning skills and life skills, and really it's not a competition with anyone else. So I just wanted to put that out there. Don't try to compete with other people, but share in the camaraderie of the event and support others and cheerlead them even when you maybe feel inadequate because of their writing, because I've seen that. I've been there. I am ahead this year, but I have failed at 12 other Nanowrimos in my life. So just remember that. I have failed a lot of times, and all of those have built me up to get here, which still does not mean that I'm going to win this year. So just, beware of the comparison issue. And that's all. Have a great, yeah. Hello, it is Nanowrimo day 4. I am checking in at the end of the day. I did have 2 writing sessions today, so I wrote from about 6:30 to, or probably 6:45 to 7:30 this morning. I got about 1,000 words in that session, and I just sat down for about an hour and 15 minutes again, maybe, to write, and I got to my word count goal. So I have been trying really hard to hit my 2,500 words a day, even though I am quite a ways ahead of my goal. I'm totally like okay with that. I think I'd rather just keep trying to hit my 2,500 words, knowing that the story has already evolved to definitely be longer than the 70K that I had planned. So I'm really looking to possibly revise a different story in December. So it would be nice to kind of try to get close to closing this one up, at least enough for a first draft by the end of November, if I could do that. So that's where I am in terms of the story. Things are actually going really well. I've moved a couple of plot points around. Like I've had some scenes happen in places that make more sense. I also have some scenes later on in the story that I'm definitely going to cut now that I am in the flow a little bit more, and I'm seeing that some of the subplots that I had started to plan are not, they're just not going to be all that beneficial to the storyline itself. So I am doing a little bit of restructuring to the outline, but the actual general main plot, story structure, and like the character development that I had done through my outlining is all still holding up, and I'm at 17,033 words. So the fact that my outline is still holding up this far into the story is just phenomenal for me, because I've never had an outline hold that long and maintain accuracy to like how the ending is supposed to go. Usually by this point I have already decided that I don't like the way the ending is, but I guess that might be a benefit to writing a romance, because romances automatically have an ending built in. So like, you know that the main characters are going to end up happy at the end of the story because it's going to be a romance genre. It's not a literary fiction. And I don't have any intention of changing it to a literary fiction based on what I've done so far. So knowing that it's going to be a happy ending, and knowing that I have even better of an idea of how it's going, I'm really in love with this story. Like, this is gonna be really great, I think, when it's finished. Probably one of my favorites that I've ever put together. The characters are really evolving into people that I'm interested in, their like life plans and their future, which is really driving me to want to keep writing, even though I've already been distracted by I don't know how many plot bunnies that have popped up throughout the writing process, but that's okay, it always happens. So anyway, I am at a total right now for the day of 3,452 words, and I'll put all this on the screen, and a total project count of 17,033 words, and it is day 4. So I can't believe I'm that far into the plot already. I'm gonna shift the screen around so that you guys can see, you know, the word counts and my plot board, or I should say my tracker board, I suppose. So this is my Scrivener project. So in terms of progress that I have made, these files, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5 are all what I would call like first draft done. So I've completed the storylines and the arcs that are supposed to happen in these chapters. This is the one that I worked on most of the day today. I did wrap up, or I did start this one. This was originally supposed to happen in this place, but I moved it around. This ended up kind of needing to happen. I needed to introduce more of the male main character's family. So I kind of moved this bit up a little bit and moved this down. I think that makes a lot more sense. And so that one is about 80% done. This one's maybe 10% complete. Don't read too many words on the screen, it'll spoil the book. So anyway, that is where I'm at there, and this is my word count stuff for Scrivener, so that you can kind of see that. And then if you look over here at my word goal tracker, so you can kind of see my goal for every day was 2,500 words, and you can kind of see where I'm at in terms of my word counts. So I am at 17,033. I was supposed to be hitting 10,000 today if I had, you know, kept up. So really I've already hit my weekly goal as well. So I think yesterday I said I wanted to shift that weekly goal over to 20K. It's probably going to be more than that, and I'm okay with that, but I'm also trying not to burn out on the project either. So it's a balancing act between so anyway, that's where I'm at. Like I said, I'm kind of fighting burnout, and I don't want to keep writing at a 35,000 word a day pace if I'm going to end up exhausted by the end of next week and not have anything to give and not actually be able to hit 50K. So I am desperately trying to practice self-care and doing the things that I enjoy outside of writing. I'm listening to books while I work and listening to videos while I work and watching, TV while my kids here and playing and stuff and trying to rest. And that's working great, and I think that's partially why I'm still moving at this pace and still enjoying the process so much, but it will be a continual project to keep myself interested. So, with that being said, this is my current status. I need to check mark the day, and I'm going to wrap up, and I will check in the morning, because it's Friday. All right, everybody, it's Friday, day 5 of Nanowrimo. So I had an hour in my day today. I'm actually home all alone, which is my favorite part about Fridays. So I get some me time, I get to do laundry and like all the stuff. So I took an hour today over my lunch break and I spent that time writing. And I got a little over 2,000 words in that hour. It was super productive because I hit a pretty key point in the story in terms of building up the male main character's relationship to his family and introducing some of those characters. So that was really, really important and pivotal. And it went really well in my opinion. So I was working on that, and over the course of the last, 24 hours, I've been talking to some of my friends in my writing group and kind of workshopping some of the ideas that I've been struggling with the most. So shout out to Lexi if you're watching this video. I have copied all of our messages into my file to have to reference. But we've been talking a lot about how like I'm most invested in my male main character's story, just from the fact that it's more dramatic, and I feel like maybe I don't understand the character as well as I understand the male main character, or the female main character, I should say. So that's driving me to want to write a lot more about him. So we were kind of brainstorming some ideas around what the female main character's struggles could be and how to make them less typical and how to make them a little bit different from what you read in a typical romance genre novel. So I was working through that, and I think I've really got some good ideas. I do think already that the timeline of the story is going to have to change pretty significantly, not necessarily just because of the changes I'm making to the female main character, because really I'm not changing her. I'm just kind of restructuring how her life builds throughout the story, and how she goes from, point A to point B. But what I'm noticing is that the beginning of the story, so I'm getting close to 20K words into the story. So that's, I don't know, 40-ish%. I'm going to do a quick math here. Yeah, so it's 40%. I was right. Hey, look at that math degree. So I am 40% of the way into the story. And at this point, 40% of the way to 50K, I should say. Probably only about 20% of the way through the story, because it's very likely this is going to be a 100K draft. And that's pretty normal for this genre. And I have a feeling things will be cut in revision. But so I'm 20% into the story, and so that should be the kickoff of the inciting incident, really, in a typical, like in most story structures. And I was planning on that happening 3 or 4 chapters into the future, if that makes sense. So, but at the same time, I also think that inciting incident is kind of changing a little bit as I change the story. So I don't know yet exactly how that's all going to impact the structure. Really, right now, I just want to write the story, and the story how it feels authentic to the idea. And then I'll probably go back and revise that structure and some of the stuff. But I have to say, this is the most viable idea I think I've ever had. And that sounds like a dig at my past ideas, but really it's just this idea makes the most sense of anything I've ever tried to write. And it does feel very authentic to certain experiences I've had in my life without being highly self-insertive. It builds upon things and ideas that I like to explore. It builds upon my understanding of, you know, people and psychology, and the things that I'm really interested in exploring are what I'm exploring in this story. So it's really interesting and fun, and I'm really loving it. And I can't wait to share it with people, even though it's obviously not there yet. Like, once I'm done with this draft, I'm actually going to go back and start re-outlining an old story that I finished in spring of 2020, I think. It's actually a horror story. I have some good ideas about making the ending an ending because it wasn't before, and kind of making it a real story, now that I've written a lot more in that time frame. So once the story is done, and I do believe I'll have the draft finished by the first week of December. At this rate, I am projected to hit 50K by the 13th of November, which I was not expecting, which means I could feasibly, at the pace that I'm going right now, hit 100K this month, which was not what I was expecting at all. To be clear, that was not my goal. My goal was to hit 70K, which was already ambitious, but the fact that I think it might be feasible to hit 100K is a little bit crazy. And that's with taking 2 days off still for Thanksgiving, which I probably won't even do if the story is still this exciting to me. So anyway, that's kind of where I am in the word count, but I'm planning on taking a break from the story once I finish it, which will likely be at the end of November or early December at this rate, taking a break off from like writing and re-outlining that story, and then coming back to this one in early January or late December, depending on, you know, time frames and how excited I am to get into the revision process and do my first draft revision. And then I'm going to start doing critiquing with some writing friends. And if you are a writing friend and would like to get into a critique routine with me, if you have some stories you'd like critiqued as well, I would absolutely love to build a critique partnership group. Like, that's something that's really important to me, and I've not really been able to figure out how to execute. So, I'm putting that call out there. If you're interested in building a critique partner group, even if it's just 2 or 3 people where we can kind of rotate and get feedback and ideas, I would love that. So by the end of January, my goal is to have it revised to like an acceptable critique draft. And then my hope is to query this story. Like, I am very set to query this story. I've had a lot that I thought, oh, maybe this one will be good to query. Maybe this one is queryable. It is, I think, a really saleable idea. I think it's something that people will connect with. And I think it's something that could, like, the writing at this point is good enough to get me in the door with writing, hopefully. So, that's where I'm at. It's day 5. I mean, there's still 2 days left in this vlog, so we'll see where I get, but I think I'm going to hit 20K tonight. Which, well, I know I will. I only have 900 words left. I'm not going to let that stand between me and 20K, the goal. So that's huge and amazing, and I'm really excited, and I can't wait to come back tonight and tell you what my final word count for the day is. I just hit 20K. I'm so excited. Let me show my screen. I did it. Good morning. It is Nanowrimo day 6, November 6th. I was awakened by a tiny human this morning at about 7:15, who then proceeded to go immediately back to sleep, but I could not go back to sleep. I was hoping to sleep in this morning and not write in the morning, just because I was tired, but I will say I went to bed very early, and I am feeling refreshed and awake, so at least there's that. So I'm doing some writing sprints this morning. We have D&D this afternoon, and then I will probably do a late night writing extravaganza. I'm already at around 600 words for the day, and my goal is to hit 2,500, and that's my only goal. I have been averaging around 3,000 400 words a day, but that is an average. Yesterday I hit 3,042, and I hit 20,000 words last night, so that was really exciting. I didn't really have the ability to like get really excited and talk about that last night, but really all that hitting 20,000 words for me means is that I'm 20%ish through this novel, and that I'm way ahead of my Nanowrimo goals right now. My goal was to hit 20K on Monday of next week, so I am, you know, I hit it 3 days ahead, which is awesome, and I'm really excited that I have my leg up. So if something happens and I fall behind or I don't track or whatever, I'm still good. So I'm gonna start a sprint right now, and I will talk to you guys later. Good morning. It's day 8 of Nanowrimo, so I didn't film any footage on day 7. We were a little bit busy, and we were also getting a lot of like random stuff done. The kiddo was home. It just makes filming and all that stuff a little bit more complicated, but I did get writing time in. So with the time change, I woke up naturally at 6 when I normally wake up naturally at 7. I've been trying to wake up at 6 all month, or all week, and it wasn't really working out for me. Like, I did it a couple times and wasn't really like doing it for me because I was very tired at the end of the day. So now I've adjusted to waking up at 6 because I was waking up at 7. I'm like, I'm gonna stick with that instead of trying to like get the hour back. I got the hour back in writing instead. So I did get my writing time in the morning, and then I went to the grocery store, and then I came back, put the kiddo down for a nap, and got some more writing time in. So my total word count for yesterday was 3,226 words, which again, crazy impressed anytime I get over 2,000 words. Like, that's a lot of work, and I'm really excited about it. I'm kind of in the break, like solidly past the break into 2, and I'm in the middle of the story, and I'm noticing there's some things about the trajectory of the story that might end up getting changed a little bit, just because the way I'm writing the scenes is not really compatible with the way that the original outline was saying to do it. So that being said, I am still moving forward, and I know that this is going to take a lot of editing when I get there, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm not so sure about. Even as I'm writing it, I'm like, I don't know, but that's okay. That's the point of a draft. I can always go back and adjust it later, so that's what I'm going to do. But to keep you updated on my stats, I got 3,226 words on day 7, and my draft total is actually 25,192 words. So that means I am halfway through like the Nanowrimo goal of 50,000 words. Now, I've already said several times here, this draft will probably end up being close to double that at this point. I originally set up my goal to be 70,000 for the month, and I thought that would probably help me get through the end of the draft. I think at this point it's probably closer to 100,000 to get to the end of the draft. Another reason I'm saying some things are probably going to get ixnayed halfway through. So let me show you my board, and then I'm gonna get started for day 7. And today during lunch I'll edit this video and you'll get to see it. So thank you so much for riding with me during the first week of Nanowrimo, and you know, seeing all of the things, that ups and downs that have happened. Overall, I am like, this is a crazy week for me. I've never seen these kinds of numbers in a Nanowrimo, not consistently through an entire week. I think having the vlog to record has really helped keep my spirits high, and has helped me execute even on days I didn't think I was going to execute. In summary, my lowest day was Saturday, day 6. I wrote 1,891 words. And Monday, the 1st, was my highest day. I wrote 7,247 words. So that's where I'm at. And thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching this whole vlog. I can't wait to get started writing today and to show you the next. So thank you for checking out my messy library. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button if you want to stick around and see my next video, and hit the notification bell if you want to get notified when I post, because there's not really a schedule around here. And write in the comments down below if you're doing Nanowrimo how it's going, and I can't wait to chat. Thanks so much. Bye.